Good evening, everybody. This is Kate at Pure Pondering, coming with you with my first live, seeing how this will go. Um, it takes a little bit of oomph or a desperate day to get ready to do the first live. I wanted to talk about tonight. I thought I was going to work on getting away from being so in depth on handling grief and things of that nature. And then today, life throws me something totally unexpected. It's got me, had me reeling today, to be quite honest. Had someone come up to me and say, "Okay, I've got something that's going to be really hard on you. You're not going to like this. It's going to be really hard." They had someone who is um, fairly new on grieving parent journey. Um, a, a young parent, well, fairly young, late 30s, early 40s. A couple of months ago, lost a child and isn't doing well. The entire family, husband, wife, the remaining children, none of them are doing well. Same old story. Um, Sat with him, talked with him for a while, listened to him mostly. Told him, okay, you know what, you sit there, say anything that you need to say while I'm doing my paperwork for these other people. I have, my usual stack of paperwork. I've always got a huge stack of paperwork. So I'm sitting there typing and listening to him, occasionally responding, because, I've been on this path for 6.5 years. He's brand new to it. Sweetheart, this is not a Micah talk, okay? But this is not a Micah talk. This is about something that happened at work today, okay? Um, so I help him with all the stuff he needs, get paperwork done that he needs me to do. Gave him some resources that I have, some of my online resources, things of that nature. And then I go on through my day. Even as hard as that was, I just kept going. Um, just about did me in. And here's the thing: the other people at work seem to not even notice that this just about did me in. And sweetheart, I'm doing a live one now. This is a live stream. This is not a recording. I need you to stop, okay? No, ma'am. You already had one, and that's all you get today.
But I drink.
I understand. And you do not get another one. You may have water, you may have milk. That's it. Okay? That's the rules. You may have water or milk. Now, I'm working on this. This is a live, sweetheart. So go on, okay? This is not one I can stop and go back and re-edit. It's live. All right? I love you. Um, yes. You may have some of those. That's what I brought them home for. You want all of them? Okay. That's fine. You can have them. Brought them home because they're good for you. Okay? Sorry for that interruption. But, children. Mom first, everything else second. Here's the thing. For any other grieving parents out there, this is what we all have to keep in mind. We're going to have those days as we go along this journey where it is easier. The child that we lost is always on our mind. Even if it's not the forefront of our mind, we're doing other things, we're living life, we're, finding things to help us smile. We are, we're getting along, and the hard stuff's going to hit us. And the people around us are not going to understand. It took everything out of me today to be able to keep going. I had work to do. I had paperwork to get done for people. People needed me to get stuff done. I could not stop because I was hurting and because meeting with this young parent had drained me of every bit of my energy. I had to keep going. the thing that I and every other grieving parent has to be aware of is that nobody around us, I don't care how much they say they understand or they know that it's hard for us, they don't comprehend. So they're going to keep asking us to do things. They're going to keep expecting us to do things. They're going to keep, and that is what this young parent was talking to me about to start with. Um, I had to do paperwork for this person to explain to their employer that they are going to have days where they are not functional. They are going to have days where they may seem functional, but don't expect conversation out of them. Don't expect them to be, the happy go lucky person that you think they were before they lost a child. People expect us to be the same people we were before or to be normal. Even if, like me, I was never normal. I was always the oddball, out of the loop. Never fit in. I was on the periphery of different groups, like in school. I was a jock. I played basketball, and I was in FHA, and I was in Beta Club, and I was in all the math and science classes, all the advanced stuff. I did not fit in any one group. I was on the periphery of every group, never fully included in any of them. Never fit in completely. Um, and that's just the way my life was. And people didn't understand that. And then all these years later, to add grief to it is just a magnification of that. People will continually expect us to be normal, to be able to laugh and cut up and joke around and be able to um, live on the surface. I have no idea exactly what it is people expect of us, other than it's not where we are, and it's not where we will ever be. And so we have to learn to live with that. It's hard, but it is something that we can manage to do if we're there for each other. Um, I actually spent, after that meeting, I spent quite a bit of time today searching for any groups locally for grieving parents. Guess what? Nothing. There are groups for uh, elderly folks who are grieving the loss of their siblings and their parents and their spouses, and set up at one of the assisted living facilities. I'm not ready for an assisted living facility, and I don't think they would much appreciate me bringing my 5-year-old with me to one of these meetings. I spoke with another grieving parent last week. Had just happened to he and I in conversation at the office as I was helping him with the things he'd come to the office for. In conversation, just happened to mention that we somehow the subject came up where we found out we were both grieving parents. And this particular parent um, works a lot, every shift that they can get, um, and is trying to get a second job to keep themselves busy so that they're not sitting at home thinking about the child they lost. I am coming home every evening, and I've got Micah. I've got this fixer-upper I'm working on, trying to make something decent out of it. Doing repairs and maintenance, livestock to take care of, and doing a couple of online projects. Like working on my YouTube channel, thanks to Lead Farmer 73 and Lady Lead. Lead Farmer's challenge to all of his follow all of his viewers to work on our channels. Um, the gardening, things like that. I pour myself into those things once I get home from work. Working with the plants and the animals is cathartic. It helps me to, I'm working on something that, even though I don't have any control, I can contribute to it. Um, it's, but brand new parents to this path haven't worked those things into their into their world yet. They're still isolating themselves. They are still trying to figure out how they're going to get through. They know that they need to be there for their families if they have other children. They know they need to be there for their spouse if they're married. They know this, but they also have to figure out how to be there for themselves. And that's something I'm still working on. 6.5 years in on this game, and I am still working on figuring out how to be there for myself. One of the things that we have to figure out is to not be too hard on ourselves, not to expect too much. We are grieving. We don't have the capacity to be everything to everybody. Nobody does anyway, but we especially don't. And we need to stop expecting that of ourselves. And we need to get past, and this is something that I need to work on very much, need to get past the inclination that we all have of being there to help others, but never asking for help for ourselves. Of course, when we do ask for help for ourselves, a lot of times the experience that we have is that people don't ask us what kind of help we need. If they are willing to help us, they just jump in and try to give us the help they think we need, rather than asking us what help we need, what it is that we need. So we get to the point where we don't ask for help anymore. That is one of the hardest things. We need help. I know I need help, but I need somebody that I can reach out to. It's difficult. That is, they're not there. And it's always been hard enough for me to reach out to anybody and ask for help anyhow, just because of different things in my background. It's one of the things I don't do. If I do ask for help for things, it's like I'm inconveniencing the person I'm asking. So, who wants to be an inconvenience? But that is something that I struggle with and I need to get beyond. And something that all of us need to work on. And eventually, with lots of prayer, with reaching out to each other, finding the people who understand. I know for sure I need to find somebody who's further down this path than I am, that I can reach out to. And then that will make me better able to reach out to the people who are new on this path, who need me to be able to tell them, yes, you can make it through this. Yes, you can get to a point again where you can be there for your children. There are ways that you can have a decent life again with this grief walking along beside you, because it's a part of this new reality, and it will never go away. It will always be painful, but you will learn to live with that pain, just like, in a different way, just like those of us who have chronic physical pain just learn to live with the pain. I've had arthritis from my head to my toes my entire life. I deal with it. I have my CBD topical creams I use that I've gotten to the point where I cannot function. I cannot type all day long without my CBD creams and my CBD um, tinctures. And I don't want the ones with THC. I found a company I can work with that offers extremely good quality CBD with no THC in it so that I am fully functional. Um, I don't want things that will knock me out. I occasionally have a glass of wine, not very often, but sometimes, and I enjoy it when I do have one. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at a couple of the folks that I follow. Um, they've been showing how to make wine, so I'm thinking about doing that. And then, of course, when I come home every evening, there's this one that keeps me busy and helps me to get past all the stuff that I dealt with during the day. It's big. Oh, oh, did you close them? Okay. You go finish eating yours, okay? Next time, get one out and then close the cap so Cupcake can't get in it, okay? Cupcake is her kitty cat, half-grown kitty, and he's getting huge. Oh, no, it's meow meow. Okay, go eat. Go eat your chicken. I love you. Find ways to continue to have love in your life. Don't isolate yourself from love. You can, one of the things I do is I try to distance myself as much as possible from the people who like to poke at the pain, the people who like to just, I don't know, who seem to enjoy making others hurt, do it for fun, kicks, whatever their reasoning is. I have no idea. I try to put a little bit of distance between me and them as much as I can, but they're still there in my life. And it's just part of what life is. As much as you can, when you can, have people in your life who are there for you and supportive of you and will pray for you and will treat you with love and respect. I think people sometimes are afraid or think that we are going to want their sympathy for the rest of our lives. No, we don't want sympathy. Acceptance. Acceptance is a wonderful thing. It would be nice if people could learn to accept us, accept the fact that we are dealing with what we're dealing with, and we're going to have our bad days. Um, just it's different, and it's just the way it is. And as hard as it is, those of us who are grieving are the ones who have to be accepting of the ones who are not grieving because they are never going to be able to, they're never going to be aware of everything we're dealing with. They expect you to bounce back within a month and be the same old same old. Ain't happening. So we just go on. We continue with this normal, with our new normal, and just keep living life. And slowly we start finding ways to have joy alongside the grief. Not in place of the grief, not instead of the grief. Just like there is no way that Micah could ever replace Maxine, but Micah was my blessing from God to help me find joy in life again, to help me see the blessings in life in the midst of my grief. The grief will always be there, but so will the blessings. It just takes time for us to be able to coexist with both and walk hand in hand with grief on one side and the blessings on the other. And there are some days that the grief on this side is going to overwhelm us. And it will be harder for us to see the blessings on the other side. But those blessings are what lift us up from those depths that the grief brings us to, and helps us to still be able to see life and be able to continue on. For those of you who are on this journey with me, don't give up. You're still here because there are people who need you. You are still here because you still have work to do in this life. We have people to help. We have people who will be following us on this path, and they need our encouragement to help them continue and to help them walk this path. And when they stumble, we need to be there to hold their hands. And sometimes we have to lay down on the ground with them and sob with them, all of us crying together. And then we can help each other up off the ground and continue on, one step at a time, minute by minute, sometimes second by second. But we can learn to keep going and to continue to be a blessing for others. You all have a blessed evening. Take care.